The Now South Florida, stories everyone's talking about right now.
Making sure you're in the know.
With new information before everyone else.
It's a bold new way to get your news. The Now South Florida, weekdays at 4 on WPTV News Channel 5.
Ah, fresh Florida sweet corn with grilled chicken and watermelon. Everyone will smile when you serve these Florida favorites. Visit freshfromflorida.com for more mouth-watering recipes. Remember, delicious is always served fresh from Florida.
I think I'll go for a walk outside now. The summer sun's calling my name. Everybody's smiling. Sunshine Day.
They can't all be sunshine days, but with Xfinity On Demand, you can stream your favorite movies and TV shows, or even download them to watch offline from anywhere. Seize the summer, only with Xfinity from Comcast. Get started with the X1 Triple Play now for only $89 a month for a year, or ask how to get $500 back. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Comcast.com today.
I may be a pizza maker, but I know a few things about dessert, like chocolate and more chocolate.
Introducing our new double chocolate chip brownie. It's a rich and decadent brownie, served warm for only $6.
Better ingredients, better pizza. PapaJohns.com.
Today's fresh idea, add a touch of green to your home or garden. Find the perfect recipe for all of your home and garden needs at floridagardening.org. Look for the Fresh from Florida label when you shop and support local growers and nurseries.
Get your News Channel 5 updates throughout the day on News Radio WJNO.
Welcome to the Now South Florida. We're stepping straight outside and a live look at I-95 near Blue Heron Boulevard. Just a big mess, dovetailing right into our top story, and that is the weather. Big winds, heavy rain all afternoon today across our viewing area. In fact, a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 7 o'clock tonight, and Steve Weagle's on deck. A very, very busy afternoon.
It is, and we've declared this a weather alert day because of the strong winds, heavy rainfall, and we've also had reports of hail out there.
Wow.
And there's a potential for some street flooding too, although no reports yet. There is that potential through about 7 and 8 o'clock tonight. And we may see strong storms tomorrow afternoon too. So no, we're not quite done with this yet. All right, let's take a look at what's going on through the area right now. There's a look at the radar, Shannon, and it is busy with heavy, just torrential downpours through the afternoon. And we're tracking this line of storms as it moves up into North County in the next few minutes. Here's our storm tracker: Singer Island, Shady Lakes along PGA Boulevards, the Oaks, Monet, through Old Palm Golf Course, obviously PGA Boulevard, Calusa, Lost Tree, all the way back into Jupiter Farms, all through Jupiter in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Here comes this line of strong storms. Nothing severe at this point, but there is a potential for some strong damaging winds and obviously torrential rains. All the way back, cutting across Wellington, our lightning counter, 115 strikes in just the last 5 to 10 minutes. And there's a look at one training cell after another. So that's why I have some concern about street flooding in some localized areas through the early evening. Our rain sensor in West Palm picking up about 1/4 of an inch. We're still climbing across Wellington. There's a real solid area of rain there. That's Lantana. That's our radar site, Lantana and 441. So most of the heavy rain is west of the Turnpike, which is right there. But everything is moving northeast at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. Very, very quickly northeast. We had strong storms, actually severe weather earlier today across the Treasure Coast. It has weakened somewhat. You can still see a couple of cells pushing through. There's one actually that is moving through Stewart, Palm City, Rio, Sailfish Point, Jensen Beach, picking up some rainfall from this. It's quickly moving off the coast too. Brian Enton is outside right now, and of course he's driving west through some of this rain. He has the latest from there.
Hey Steve, yeah, it is really nasty out here. Let me spin this camera around. We're on Okeechobee, just west of the Turnpike, where it is raining really, really hard. It was actually raining much harder just a few minutes ago. We were coming in from downtown, headed west, and we went through a couple of really, really intense storms. Lightning was crazy over the last hour. I was actually at the courthouse in downtown West Palm, and you could see the lightning bolts in all directions. A little bit of standing water on the side of the roads that we've noticed in the ditches, which is nothing unusual, and there's definitely a little layer on top of the road, so you want to be really, really careful while you're driving. But we haven't seen any accidents or anything like that yet. We're continuing to go east right now towards downtown West Palm, and we'll keep you posted if we see anything more severe than this. live on Okeechobee Boulevard. Brian Ensign for the Now South Florida.
All right, thanks, Brian. Yeah, treacherous driving. Take care if you're outside this afternoon. If we can go back to the graphics, I want to show you some of the breakdown on this weather alert day. We are looking at strong gusty winds, some heavy rainfall, and this is why we issued the weather alert day. We've had reports of hail in Jensen Beach earlier this afternoon, wind gusts to 45, maybe even 50 miles an hour. Low risk of tornadoes, although a couple of tornado warnings popping up this afternoon down around Miami, and lightning, obviously hundreds and hundreds of lightning strikes as we get into the evening hours. Severe thunderstorm watch for the entire viewing area until 7 o'clock, torrential rain, strong gusty winds and hail, and we could see some more wild storms tomorrow too. Let's go down to Palm Springs. Earlier video coming in from that area showing just torrential rain and of course the street flooding too. Obviously this is a time lapse of the storms as they move through that area I believe about an hour ago. So a widespread up and down the coast, more headed into North County. South County picked around Boca and Delray picked up some strong storms earlier. Any areas that haven't seen heavy rainfall could certainly see some through the early evening. Of course, Shannon will be back with more on this in just a couple of minutes. And if there's any severe weather, we'll break in immediately.
Absolutely. And Steve won't go far, as he mentioned. We'll come to you every couple of minutes or whenever Steve says so. He's in charge right now when it's a big weather day like this, of course. All right, Steve, we'll see you in a bit. Meanwhile, another big story we are working on today, especially for parents out there. Standardized tests delayed across the state because of technical issues today. Our Jay Cashmere standing by in the newsroom with the very latest on this story. Jay?
Yeah, Shanna, another headache. Once again, students had trouble logging into the computer system today to take the test. Florida's Education Commissioner Pam Stewart blamed this problem on American Institutes for Research. That's the company paid to put together the new test. Stewart told superintendents across the state that the company made unapproved changes over the weekend when they were trying to test the system, and that caused all of the glitches that everyone faced this morning. Stewart released a statement saying, quote, the company's failure to follow protocol is absolutely unacceptable, and the department will hold AIR accountable for the disruption they have caused to our state's students, teachers, and school staff. Now, you might remember this is not the first issue for the new online test. In March, testing was halted for several days because students then couldn't even log in, and there were reports of cyber attacks. Stewart says the problem should be resolved and students will once again be testing by tomorrow. Shannon, back to you.
Jay, thanks for that update. More than 20 cars broken into at a South Florida beach, and deputies say they have caught the thief. Investigators say a Broward County man was targeting cars at South Inlet Park in Boca Raton. The Now's Charlie Keegan has details on this arrest today. Charlie?
The sheriff's office believes this guy was using some sort of tool where he would actually break the locks on the outside of car doors, then go ahead and open those doors and rummage around inside looking for anything valuable that he could take. And deputies tell us that they actually caught Wilton Uceta red-handed Friday. Investigators say they were patrolling the parking lot after several reports of car break-ins, and they noticed Uceta backing his truck into empty spots next to cars. And when watching those people in their cars walk to the beach, and then deputies kept an eye on him, and they say they actually saw him break into one car. Now, I spoke with beachgoers today who say that they are always cautious to hide valuables in their car.
I make sure there's nothing valuable outside, so that nothing like target-wise. I would hide all my valuable things in the trunk, even just like backpacks. Even though there's nothing in there, I'll just put it in there so that it won't catch people's attention.
Reyes says that he does are the same things that police say you should do. Tips that they share are, putting anything valuable in your trunk and closing it. That way it's out of sight. Another tip is, of course, just making sure that no valuables are within plain sight through windows. And the biggest tip is locking your door and setting that alarm. Live in Boca Raton, Charlie Keegan for the Now South Florida.
Always good reminders. Charlie, thanks. An autopsy was performed today on that woman's body that was found yesterday on the side of the road in suburban Delray Beach. Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputies say foul play is suspected now after someone noticed the body along Smith-Sunday Road near State Road 7 and Atlantic Avenue. Deputies have yet to release the victim's name or tell us whether anyone is in fact in custody due to her death. Right now, the search continues for the people behind a drive-by shooting that injured 3 juveniles this past weekend in West Palm Beach. Deputies say a bullet grazed one of these kids while the group was hanging out at Gramercy Park. 2 others were also injured by broken glass. 2 new cases of the measles confirmed over the weekend. This in Indian River County after an elementary school student was diagnosed last week. We reported on that. It was 15 years ago the United States was declared measles-free, but these 3 cases on the Treasure Coast are now concerning many here in South Florida. As Roxanne Stein tells us today, one doctor says if you plan to travel this summer, there are some steps you need to be taking right now. Roxanne?
The 3 cases on the Treasure Coast are included in the 150 cases so far this year in the United States, when, as you mentioned, Shannon, we were declared measles-free in 2000.
Certainly the complications of measles can be...
That's concerning to infectious disease specialist Dr. Katonga Camino of Wellington Regional Medical Center.
We're seeing a lot of these new cases are from returning travelers from abroad who are unvaccinated.
According to health authorities in Indian River County, one of the cases is from a family member traveling out of the United States who transmitted the virus. With summer travel season ahead, Dr. Camino says if you are traveling abroad, check your vaccinations.
If you're getting ready to travel and you're not vaccinated, you should consider doing so, especially your children who are going to areas in Europe, Africa, Asia.
Dr. Camino also told me that if you get the measles as an adult, the symptoms are much more serious. Once you get your measles vaccination, you have immunity for a lifetime. Shannon, back to you.
Roxanne, thanks. And even though you may have already had your measles shot, do you need to get another one as you get older? I had that question in the newsroom as well. Well, I'm going to get it answered coming up tonight on News Channel 5 at 5. You can join me in watching and getting that answer. It is Marathon Monday in Boston. Some of the best runners dealing with some pretty rough conditions to cross the finish line, while others are running in memory of the people killed and injured 2 years ago in that bombing at the finish line. But the terror attacks meant to harm the tradition have actually improved morale for some. Ann McNamara is at the Now National Desk with that angle of the story.
The winners of the Boston Marathon hoisting the trophy at the finish line. The first place female, Caroline Rodich of Kenya, beating out the second place finisher by just feet. The men's finish dramatic for a different reason. This is the second time Lalisa Desisa of Ethiopia took home first place. Last time he won was in 2013, right before the first bomb exploded. The anniversary of the terror attacks not lost on a city still mourning the victims. Today, many runners dedicating their 26.2 miles to them.
I'm running for the Martin Richard Foundation. Martin Richard was the boy that was killed a couple years ago in the bombings and was seen holding the sign that said, "No more hurting people, peace." Happened to be a student of mine. And so when they started the foundation and had a team, I had to run.
And while it wasn't the best weather for Marathon Monday, rain pounding the pavement along with the runners, there's a renewed spirit along the course, a sense that Boston Strong is much more than a catchphrase. As one Boston Globe writer so perfectly described today's race, there's comfort to be found in this. What was designed to break us brought us closer. At the Now National Desk, I'm Ann McNamara.
So many uplifting stories in that race today. Coming up on the Now, TSA cracking down on airline workers after a big breach in security. Then the miracle of science touching the lives of this local boy. This is for sure today's feel-good story of the day. And big changes to one of your kids' favorite meals. Will Kraft mac and cheese taste the same?
It is a weather alert day for South Florida, watching strong storms move northeast at about 30 miles an hour. Here's a very strong one that's moving from Wellington and Lantana in toward West Palm in the next 10 to 15 minutes. More on the way, and it could be a bumpy ride tomorrow, too. Your forecast is coming up.
Nissan Altima. With up to 270 horsepower, blind spot warning, and premium interior. For a limited time, lease Altima just $189 per month, or choose 0% financing for up to 72 months. Altima, the ride you can always rely on. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com. Innovation that excites.
At Longhorn, if you want steak tonight, lucky you. If you don't want steak tonight, lucky you. It's Longhorn Favorites, fire-grilled outlaw ribeye, Longhorn salmon, and the Parmesan-crusted chicken, all with hand-chopped salad and honey wheat bread. Have your favorite tonight. Only at Longhorn Steakhouse. You can't fake steak. And for lunch, try our new Tavern Steak Sandwich or get any of our Steakhouse lunch combos starting at $7. Lease a 2015 Outback for $219 a month at Schumacher Subaru.
Schumacher Subaru. Come join the family.
It's Empire Today's biggest sale, the 50-50-50 sale. 50% off carpet and flooring, 50% off padding and materials, and 50% off installation. That's right, half off your entire project. You can save thousands. Empire's 50-50-50 sale won't last long. Don't miss 50% off carpet and flooring, 50% off padding and materials, and 50% off installation.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today. If you have severe kidney disease and suffer from the pain of gout, local doctors need your help testing an investigational medication. You will receive all study-related procedures at no cost if you qualify and may be compensated for your time and travel. If you have severe kidney disease and have had a gout flare in the past year, call 561-544-7164 or visit mygoutstudy.com to see if you qualify for this research study.
There she is. Move in.
Don't be alarmed! They said it was approved, but it was only for that car.
Gross.
It's my credit.
Drive Time will approve you for every single car in the lot, and that's a lot. Are you ready in the back? We're going to do this right now. A lot on a lot, all ready to be bought, even if you got bad credit.
Save yourself. Get approved at Drive Time first. Call, click, or visit.
So as Steve mentioned a moment ago, it is a weather alert day, and we're still getting some video rolling into our newsroom. We're going to just pass it along to you as things roll into us. One of our reporters, Jacqueline Powell, a new reporter for us here on News Channel 5, she was interviewing someone in Palm Springs when lightning struck just moments ago. Take a listen to this.
I'm on track.
Goodness gracious. Again, that's Jacqueline Powell, one of our new reporters in Palm Springs just a couple minutes ago. So she fed this right into us. A big mess out there. Luckily, nobody was hurt in that. But a reminder again to stay safe, stay inside right now as these storms move through. We're going to be dipping into Steve in just a moment. Even better, stay inside until the lightning, of course, passes through our area. Rachel. Take it away.
I will.
Trending right now.
Trending right now, obituary in North Carolina paper. Don't vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Funny little old guy here. So Larry Upright, he died just one day after Hillary Clinton announced she was running for president. And in his obituary, he made two requests: to please donate to a children's hospital and to please not vote for Hillary Clinton. Upright, a staunch Republican, he died Monday at a North Carolina hospital. He was 81. Back to you, Shannon.
A lot of opinions out there. Thanks for bailing me out as always, Rachel. Appreciate it. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson announced new security rules for U.S. airlines and airport workers today. Our Ann McNamara joining us live from the Now National Desk with details on this. Ann?
Hey, Shannon. Yeah, TSA's screening of airport and airline workers about to get a whole lot tougher. The Department of Homeland Security announcing these new changes today, and they include requiring airport and airline workers to pass the same security measures as passengers do. They also reduces the number of access points to secure areas and perform random employee screenings daily. Some airport workers will also receive additional training on how to spot suspicious behavior among their colleagues. Now, the reason for the new rules is a recent discovery of Delta Airlines employees smuggling these guns onto at least 20 flights. That investigation led to the recovery of more than 150 weapons, Shannon.
Wow, incredible. Ann, thanks so much. It has been weeks since we've heard any news on Bobbi Kristina Brown's condition. The story just kind of slipped off everybody's radar, didn't it? That was until this past weekend when her dad, Bobby Brown, and other family members said that she woke up and she is now off life support. Our partners at Newsy take a look at these claims.
Bobbi Kristina Brown is awake and no longer on life support, according to her aunt. Tina Brown reportedly posted this message to her Facebook account Sunday evening. Yes, she woke up and is no longer on life support. God is good. Thanks for your prayers. Still a process, but she is going to be okay. The post appears to have since been deleted or made private. Tina's message comes just hours after Bobbi Kristina's father, Bobby Brown, announced during his concert in Texas Sunday that his daughter is awake.
My baby's awake. She's watching me.
Now, despite these announcements, it's still unclear if Bobbi Kristina is actually awake. In fact, a source close to the family told People shortly after the news broke that the 22-year-old has yet to wake up. As far as I know, there's been no change. We're still hoping and praying that God will perform a miracle. We are leaving it in God's hands. Of course, Bobbi Kristina has reportedly been in a medically induced coma ever since she was found unconscious in her bathtub in her Georgia home on January 31st. Her family has yet to provide more details on her condition, but soon after her hospitalization, they released a statement saying she was fighting for her life. After being released from Emory University Hospital last month, Bobbi Kristina was moved to DeKalb Medical Center. Bobby Brown's attorney has refused to comment on the latest development. For Newsy, I'm Micah Sargent. Watch Newsy 24/7 on your TV or download the Newsy app for on-the-go updates.
Thanks, Newsy. Sorry, we have a lot of big weather stories rolling into our newsroom. I want to tell you quickly about this BMW story, but Steve is really ready to go. Do we want to just go to Steve? I think it's probably a better call right now, right, guys? We can get to this BMW story in just a minute. It's a really big deal. Okay, come on, guys. We're going to go to the Weather Center here. Steve, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm watching this storm that is moving into West Palm, Wellington. It is moving through Boynton Beach, and it has a punch to it, Shannon. Hundreds of lightning strikes. So this is a weather alert day. We've declared it for South Florida with numerous lightning strikes. A very dangerous situation with the lightning. You want to stay inside until the severe or strong storms pass. Low risk of tornadoes, but we have seen a couple of tornado warnings during the day. Wind gusts of 45, maybe even 50 miles an hour. Reports of hail around Jensen Beach earlier. And there is a flood risk as these storms continue to train across all of South Florida. Severe thunderstorm watch until 7 o'clock tonight. Torrential rains and gusty winds and hail. Severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect until 7 o'clock tonight. And so is the weather alert day. Look at the radar, and especially along coastal Palm Beach County. This is really incredible because this is an area that has already seen some very strong storms. And look at what is fired up in the last 10 to 15 minutes since we just started the broadcast at 4 o'clock. There's a lightning counter. It's almost, it's well over 200. At one point, it was upwards of 500 lightning strikes. And this stretches all the way from Palm Beach Gardens down, cutting across the turnpike into Royal Palm, West Palm, all the way now down into Boynton Beach. There's the turnpike. So this is moving between the turnpike and I-95 at about 30 miles an hour. These are very quick moving storms. That's why I'm so concerned. You're outside, it's not too bad, and then in just a couple of minutes, this line comes in very, very quickly and you get caught off guard. So you want to take cover immediately because of all this lightning that is out there. Very, very dangerous situation. Now the line is moving in toward 95 through Lake Worth, Lake Clark Shores, Green Acres, down into Lantana. So we're getting back down even into Clint Moore, through Boynton and Gulfstream and Manalapan and Delray Beach. That line stretches all the way south. This is a massive line of thunderstorms that we're keeping an eye on through the afternoon. No severe thunderstorm warnings at this point. I've been actually watching the chat here, keeping an eye on it, and nothing has been issued, but I would not be surprised if at any point we get a severe thunderstorm warning from these storms. There's another look at Palm Beach County, more heavy rainfall through Jupiter Farms. Look at how it fires up. Look at the bright reds. That is really indicating that these are torrential rains and the storms are intensifying. They're not weakening. This is going to move in through Hobe Sound, through Jonathan Dickinson, Jupiter Island in the next 15 to 20 minutes. That's a nasty line of storms right there and cutting across Indiantown Road right now to Cuesta, another area looking at the potential for strong and severe storms. This is the area I'm most concerned about, though, between 95 and the Turnpike, moving northeast at 30. This is a real big mess of storms that is moving quickly to the coast, Shannon, so we're keeping an eye on that. So to reiterate, as far as the severe thunderstorm watch, that is until 7 o'clock tonight. Torrential rains, gusty winds, and hail. And, of course, a weather alert day continues until 7. Numerous lightning strikes, gusty winds, moderate hail threat, and we have that flood risk, too, especially localized street flooding. Keeping an eye on the radar, Shannon. We'll break in if any severe weather develops.
Absolutely. We'll cut right to you, Steve. When you walk into the studio and Steve Weigel is groaning, you know it's time to go to weather. All right, Steve, we're not going to take our eyes off you in the next couple of minutes. We're going to get to a little bit more news here in just a minute. Still waiting to book your summer travel. Which places are getting cheaper to fly to, and the ones that will cost you a little bit extra this year. We'll fill you in on that. Plus, Tim Tebow back in the NFL, the way fans are welcoming the former Florida Gator to the city of brotherly love.
I see an F-150 barreling down the road, and he's on his cell phone texting, and he didn't stop and went right into the back of my car. I couldn't go back to work And I was wondering every month, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to pay the bills?
A different law firm couldn't get Cliff what he deserved, so we took over.
They don't treat you like someone off the street. They take you, hold you, and guide you through the whole process.
Call Kogan and DeSalvo now.
Good call on these chicken cordon bleu subs. I know, right? Mixing it up. We should totally do this for the rest of the things in our lives. Live spontaneously. Ooh. Wear cowboy hats. I'm gonna let my hair grow. Become meteorologists. I mean, let's do this. Yes! Hang on, I got a 1:30. So after that? Yeah. Oh, I gotta pick up the kids. Maybe we just get these subs again tomorrow. Oh, now you're talking. Take cover, America.
Our Publix Deli Chicken Cordon Bleu Sub is served hot and bursting with unique flavors. And with online easy ordering, you can try something totally different and totally delicious. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
I was not getting the response that I needed from the insurance company for my injuries. The pain and suffering that I've gone through over the last 6 years, I would not wish on anybody. Gordon and Donner fought for me when I was dealing with a lot of pain and could not fight for myself. They were there for me always whenever I needed them. Gordon and Donner was able to do the things that I couldn't do for myself. They were the experts.
Gordon and Donner, for the injured.
Someone's got sweet tea. Every day is Sunday in my bag. Even if it's a Tuesday, it's still Sweet Sunday.
Get Rallies and Checkers' new Sunday Stackers. Strawberry cheesecake or Oreo raspberry, just $1.99 each. Rallies and Checkers.
It's in the bag.
Our mom's doctor recommended Treasure Coast Hospice. I had taken care of her for many years.
Towards the end of Mom's life, you could see on Peg it was really taking a toll, and we were really concerned with her health also.
The nurse who had come out, she lifted a boulder off of my shoulder. It was important for Mom to be at home. Treasure Coast Hospice supported that 100%.
You need to call Treasure Coast Hospice. You might need the help. The caregiver might need the help.
There's parallel parking, or there's parking that's unparalleled. And 2 miles per gallon difference may not seem like much until you have to walk it. Now more than ever, reliability is an American thing. Drive the all-new Chrysler 200 during the Chrysler Award Season event.
Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2015 Chrysler 200 Limited for $219 a month.
The Kravis Center presenting Pippin, April 28th through May 3rd. From the composer of Wicked comes this Tony Award-winning musical comedy sensation, Pippin. For tickets, visit kravis.org or call 561-832-SHOW.
Welcome back, everyone. Still watching strong thunderstorms moving across the area. Weather alert day continues until 7 o'clock. Hundreds and hundreds of lightning strikes during the afternoon and right into this evening likely. Tornado threat, there is a low risk. We do have some wind shear around, which is at least creates some potential for tornado development. Wind gusts of 45 and 50 miles an hour possible. Reports of small hail during the day, and there is a flood risk. Simply because we have one training thunderstorm after another. Severe thunderstorm watch until 7 o'clock tonight. Torrential rainfall, gusty winds, and hail in the forecast. And our radar sites, the Power 5 radar network, picking up the heaviest rain and the strongest storms cutting across eastern Palm Beach County. Millions of people here affected by these storms, all the way from Boynton Beach and Delray and Gulf Stream and Manalapan through Lake Worth, Lantana, up into West Palm now, even into the Gardens. This is our heaviest weather between 95 and the Turnpike. The bright reds here. What is amazing, though, is in behind this, we have even more strong storms that have fired up. So even though the atmosphere tries to stabilize and we get somewhat of a calming period that lasts a few minutes, it doesn't last long because more on the doorstep. And this is the big threat because this is what causes flooding. You get one thunderstorm cell, that moves through. That's fine. You get a little bit of rainfall and it moves through. You get a second cell, then you get into a situation where the rain can't drain off the roadways and in through those sidewalks, and then you have that flooding issue. And we're going to see some here, obviously, as we have trading rains all the way back into southwestern Palm Beach County. But our strongest cells are moving into West Palm through Lake Worth, Green Acres. Here's another area of very, very heavy rain through Jonathan Dickinson to Cuesta, Jupiter Island, Jupiter Farms, and Calusa. Very strong winds with this one. Everything is moving 25 to 30 miles an hour to the northeast. There's a wider view across the Palm Beach County line. I've been spending a lot of time on Palm Beach County simply because this is where our strongest storms are right now. We had earlier storms across the Treasure Coast. Those have begun to taper off. Additional rain is possible into the evening hours. Quiet across Boca and Highland Beach, but more rain possible there. And here's a look at the Treasure Coast where our strongest cell is moving into Fort Drum. We also have some lingering rain around Vero, Fort Pierce. Nothing significant right now, but we'll keep an eye on this into the afternoon. So weather alert day until 7 o'clock tonight. No severe weather at this point, but I'll break in and let you know if we do get any of that. And of course, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with more.
We're giving away a $500 gift card every morning. Watch for the money word of the day. Enter on Facebook and you could win. That's it. Watch and win. Starting next week on Today on 5.
Welcome to Subway. What can I make for you? How about something from our new Mediterranean collection? Tender chicken or steak with feta cheese, cucumbers, black olives, and a creamy tzatziki sauce. Hurry in today. Subway. Eat fresh.
Of all the things that keep you busy, maintaining your car shouldn't be one of them. The experts at Mopar are busy making sure of that. We get the job done right the first time, help you save every time, and get you back on the road in no time. So this spring, let us help refresh your ride. Right now, buy 3 tires and get the 4th for $1 at your neighborhood Mopar Service Center.
Get the luxury you want, the value you need, and the performance you crave at Vista BMW in Coconut Creek and Vista BMW in Pompano Beach. You get it all.
Drive the legendary 3 Series for only $296 a month and pay nothing out of pocket for maintenance.
Shop the area's #1 selection of new BMWs. What are you waiting for? Vista BMW in Coconut Creek and Pompano Beach, where luxury meets value.
Eyeglass World asks, what do you look for when you buy glasses?
I like to mix it up, so I need bold styles, classic styles, and affordable prices. Having lots of choices and saving money is important. That's why I come to Eyeglass World.
Only Eyeglass World gives you 2 pairs for $78, so you can always afford more than 1 pair.
My glasses are part of my personal style. They're me.
Eyeglass World. Glasses that make the difference. Prices that make it possible.
MeTV Dispatch calling 50.
50, go ahead.
You are entering MeTV's memory lane.
Okay.
Take a trip down memory lane with MeTV, memorable entertainment television.
Not everyone wants to follow the crowd, especially when they have a truck capable of taking them farther. And that's exactly what Ram 1500 can do with the best fuel economy out there. It's this kind of leadership that has more people driving Ram trucks than ever before. Guts, glory, Ram.
Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles get the 2015 Ram 1500 Express Crew Cab 4x2 for $299 a month.
All right, we've been telling you it's a weather alert day, and we want to take you live outside looking at our Live 5 camera network. This is I-95 and 6th Avenue. Steve, what do we call this?
Okay.
Whiteout conditions, right?
Whiteout, zero visibility.
I mean, exactly.
I'm amazed that they're still able to drive in this. Shannon, if we can go to Viper, I just put together a couple of graphics to show you just how much rain is falling. Here's the loop for the radar.
Right, because we just saw that picture, and you're going to take us to where it is, right?
Yeah. We're going to go right down into Lake Worth, where we just saw that camera. Yeah. These are the rain rates. 3 to 4 inches an hour.
Wow.
This is torrential rain that is moving through this area. So all the way from about 6th Avenue down in through Woolbright Gateway. And it's right along 95 moving to the east. Everything's moving about 30 miles an hour. So this is a tricky situation for anyone who's driving home this afternoon. You want to take extra caution. The other amazing thing is, look at the lightning counter in the last couple of minutes. Almost 300 strikes every few minutes now because of these storms. So let's break it down, show you exactly where the strongest storms are. They are obviously around Lake Worth, and everything is racing to the coast. I wish I could tell you it would be done after that, but look at what's firing up west of the Turnpike. More storms are working in, and they're stretching their what we call back building down to the south into Delray and Boca, and these will all push into South County during the afternoon. So 3 to 4 inches per hour rainfall rate. And some of these storms are training, so we could certainly see several inches of rain in this area from West Palm down in toward Boynton and Delray. Also North County, Jupiter to Cuesta, big storms firing up in this area, pushing very quickly to the east. And we also have, northeast I should say, at 30. And there's a look at West Palm where we have just hundreds of lightning strikes. This is the real danger here, the lightning that is moving through the area very, very quickly. The Treasure Coast overall is quiet, with the exception of some light and moderate rain. There's a look at it, and a couple of weaker storms moving through Fort Drum. But we're going to keep an eye on this. Everything has really been washed over as far as rainfall earlier today, but we could still see some active weather into the evening hours. So I'm keeping an eye on that as we get into 6 and 7 o'clock. So weather alert day continues. Severe thunderstorm watch until 7 o'clock. Torrential rainfall and gusty winds. We're also looking at the slight chance for some hail, lightning strikes in the hundreds this afternoon, and a slight tornado risk too. Shannon, I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
All right, we'll squeeze in just a little bit of news, but you let us know when you're ready, Steve. We'll come right back into you. Other news for you now. Some Palm Beach ordinances, the island of Palm Beach we're talking about here, are getting a closer look after a family says their children's playthings drew some attention from code enforcement. The story started to stir a bit of conversation, as you might imagine. The Now's Ashley Walters is on Palm Beach at the moment to explain.
Well, this all stems from a playground in the yard of a family's home right here on Palm Beach. Now, this is stirring up conversation not only at the town council level, but also among neighbors. This issue will first pass through planning and zoning before it heads back to town council. Now, the Caniglio family lives at a corner lot on North County Road with 3 children. The family says it just replaced the swing set playground in the front yard that had been there for 4 years. Weeks later, they received a notice from code enforcement. A playground violated ordinance by being too tall and too close to the street.
You know, we want the place to be more family-centric, and that's, you know, the start, you know, it's going to be a start for us, is, you know, getting the swing set, and then from there, hopefully we'll be able to change a couple more ordinances that are antiquated as well.
Nicholas Caniglio is the mayor's son, but says he's not getting special treatment regarding this issue. The family is asking town council to also take a look at some other ordinances, including an anti-skateboarding ordinance and one that prohibits basketball hoops in driveways. Here in Palm Beach for the Now South Florida, I'm Ashley Walters.
Ashley, thanks. Get your calendars ready. The NFL will be releasing its 2015 regular season schedule tomorrow. The Miami Dolphins will host the Houston Texans, the Indianapolis Colts, Baltimore Ravens, Dallas Cowboys, and New York Giants, as well as their divisional opponents, the Buffalo Bills and New England Patriots. The Dolphins' home game against the New York Jets, that's going to actually be held in London on October 4th. The schedule release takes place at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. All right, lots of going on in the weather department. We got to get right over to Steve. Steve, what do you have?
Yeah, just reports of a funnel cloud in the last couple of minutes around Gateway and Congress. That is in the Boynton Beach area from this line of thunderstorms that we've been talking about all afternoon. No reports of any damage or it touching the ground, but a trained weather spotter reported a funnel cloud moving through this area of Gateway and Hype-Biloxo and Congress. So in this area right here, a very populated area between 95 and the Turnpike, moving through South County. These storms are moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. And just to be clear here, nothing touching the ground, but an indication that severe storms are possible into the afternoon. So funnel cloud reported in the last few minutes, about 10 minutes ago, moving very quickly through Gateway and the Congress and the Hype-Biloxo area, and moving quickly northeast. And of course, Shannon will keep you up to date right here through the afternoon.
Absolutely, Steve. We're back in a moment.
Watch the Honda Sports Desk for the latest local and national sports, powered by ESPN 106.3. Every night at 11, only on News Channel 5. Sponsored by the South Florida Honda Dealers. Visit sfhondadealers.com to find the dealer nearest you.
Hi, it's the Mo and Sally Morning Show from Cool 105.5. Get WPTV News Channel 5 weather updates from Steve Weagle and Storm Team 5 every hour during your workday.
News Channel 5 and Cool 105.5, keeping you safe and secure.
It is very difficult to get into a cardiovascular ICU. I think this is a testament to the quality of education provided by Kaiser University to even be considered for this position as a recent graduate. The hands-on learning definitely has helped me in my real-world practice. My name is Daniel Hargrove. I'm currently a registered nurse at one of the largest hospitals in Florida. I was able to get into this position because of Kaiser University.
That funny email that you sent to a coworker or that text to a friend you thought was private can be used as evidence against you in court. It's called electronic discovery. Here to explain are Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine.
You got to be really careful, and even in a criminal case or a civil case, your emails, your texts can be discovered by court order, so you need to be aware of what you're putting out there. We've talked about before with just security, internet security, but when you send an email, when you send a text, those things are potentially discoverable simply by getting a subpoena or having a court or a judge issue it in a civil case, or in a criminal case. You can have a search warrant where the police can have access to your phone or send a search warrant to the cell phone company to try and get information from you. So it's all out there and it's all being kept.
A lot of times you got to also remember that in emails and text, context is lost. You might say something and that person that knows your personality or knows how you intend it to come out understands it, but if it's read by someone else in a different fashion, they're like, think it's completely off the wall. So sometimes that's a danger as well. And what you could do is you could put in the footer, sometimes you can modify the footer of an email.
Yes.
And you can basically say it's for the intended recipient only, and confidentiality, and put some information in there. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be discovered, but it might give you a better leg to stand on to have a judge prevent it from coming in.
Whatever you put out on social media too, forget about legally speaking, anybody can access that and see what you're doing.
Kids get in trouble at school, they can get in trouble with the law, they can have big problems if they put things out there that, they didn't think anything or didn't think twice about sending to a friend. All of a sudden it becomes a big problem. So you really need to discuss with your children who have cell phones or have access to social media, really educate them very well as to the pitfalls of putting bad things out there.
Legal Playbook is sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine.
Welcome back, everyone. Weather Alert Day continues for South Florida. Strong, potentially severe thunderstorms moving through the area during the afternoon. Severe thunderstorm watch until 7 o'clock tonight. Torrential rainfall, gusty winds, and hail. Here are the weather threats and their likelihood of happening. Obviously, hundreds and hundreds of lightning strikes this afternoon. A low tornado risk, wind gusts of 45 and 50 miles an hour possible. In fact, in the last few minutes, Juno Beach reporting a wind gust of 40 miles an hour from a wind there. And we've also had reports of a funnel cloud around Congress and Gateway about 15 minutes ago from this storm cell, this line of storms that pushed very quickly across Boynton Beach, Lake Worth, and into West Palm. In fact, we have some, I believe, live video coming out of West Palm right now of the storms as they push through. Obviously, the rainfall's tapered off just a bit because about 10 minutes ago it looked much worse than that, I'm sure. And those storms will continue to move off the coast during the afternoon hours and begin to taper off this evening too. So more wild weather possible. I want to show you the wider view over the Palm Beaches where that severe thunderstorm watch continues until 7 o'clock tonight. Everything pushing off the coast, some dry air filtering in behind that. Additional showers and storms possible though into the evening and definitely on Tuesday. Shannon.
Steve, thanks. A 12-year-old Vero Beach boy, the latest recipient of an incredible piece of technology. I mentioned this was the best story of the day. It really is. Wyatt Falardeau is now the proud owner of what he calls his Blue Man Group robot arm. It was created by Limitless Solutions. Limitless Solutions is the name of the company. It's a student-led nonprofit at the University of Central Florida. The arm was made from a 3D printer at the cost of about $350. Today, Wyatt was greeted by the cast members of the Blue Man Group who had surprised Wyatt with this new limb just a couple of weeks ago.
UCF and Blue Man Group are helping children around the world with just one hand, like me and Alex.
Isn't that great? Wyatt, who is on the autism spectrum, says one of the things that he is most looking forward to is being able to put his arm around a girl at a dance. Typical guy. His mom says he's already becoming proficient at using it to give great bear hugs. Still ahead here on The Now, new alarming statistics of new breast cancer cases here in the United States. We're going to let you know about what people are talking about these estimated increase in numbers here. Also coming up, Lily craziness. You've heard the stories, people fighting to get their hands on the merchandise yesterday. But is it coming back to Target? We'll fill you in.
It's 5 o'clock. You need to know what's happening right now. The only local chopper getting you breaking news first. Steve Weagle, tracking and alerting you before the storm moves in. Local news everywhere. WPTV News Channel 5 at 5.
You need to be fearful. There are a lot of issues with the sheriff's office. We keep asking ourselves, how do unarmed people get shot?
We go to these things and try to control the situation.
An unprecedented one-year investigation. Line of Fire, Thursday at 11.
It's time. Time you knew that Motor Trend's 2015 Car of the Year isn't Toyota or Honda. It's Volkswagen. Time you experience how Volkswagen raised the bar. And now is the time to act. Get affordable German engineering in a new Jetta for just $139 a month or zero down. Lease the new Passat for only $169 a month or zero down. Or buy either with 0% for 72 months. Plus, get $1,000 cash back. It's time you made the switch to a Volkswagen.
Just steps away from the water, relax and enjoy the atmosphere and amazing food at Mulligan's Beach House Bar and Grill.
Try Mulligan's Asian Dragon Salad with firecracker shrimp, Bluesy's Black and Blue Burger, fish and chips, or steak gorgonzola flatbread.
Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A family meal at Mulligan's is fun and affordable. All day, every day. With locations across South Florida. Mulligan's Beach House Bar and Grill. Fun and food for the entire family.
Today's fresh idea, add a touch of green to your home or garden. Houseplants bring sweet serenity to any room. Maybe an indoor palm is more to your liking, so easily maintained and a great way to add life to any indoor space. And Florida-grown plants can make any yard a lush escape. Bring home a lovely hibiscus to brighten up your garden. Find the perfect recipe for all of your home and garden needs at floridagardening.org. Look for the Fresh from Florida label when you shop and support local growers and nurseries.
Drop the crystal!
He's eating the evidence! You're under arrest for possession of a fancy pastry and a charger.
You're a disgrace to the 8-speed, 485 horsepower. It's not mine. I'm just holding it for friends.
Tell it to the judge, mon chéri.
Some things you just don't do in a Dodge. Now during award season. Right now, get up to $3,500 total cash allowance on 2015 Dodge vehicles.
Tonight, 8/7 Central, The Voice's Top 10 will sing for your vote.
It's all in America's hands.
Vote live and instantly save someone's dream.
Pharrell, what'd you think? What does everyone else think?
Then, a relationship.
Nothing is going to happen to me.
You don't know that.
Reaches its limit. And a patient.
You have to see this.
With a secret.
Please, just tell him where you really were.
Nothing you say leaves this room.
The Night Shift. After The Voice. You must see Monday on NBC.
So we're stepping outside once again because it is a weather alert day and a much different look at I-95 and Blue Heron Boulevard. We took a peek at this very spot at the top of our newscast. So Steve has been fascinated by this because you say it comes and goes so quickly.
Yes.
And it seems to certainly have lightened up in that area.
Yeah, we saw reports of flooding. We've had reports of strong winds, and we just got in some video from one of our viewers. Actually, she sent it to me on Twitter, and let's just bring that up here. I want to bring up the right graphic here to show you that. And this appears to be the funnel cloud. If you look off in the distance there, Shannon, let's play it a couple of times here. And obviously, this is a rotating cloud. This is around Boynton Beach, and this was about 20 to 25 minutes ago. Michelle just sent this in. She actually tweeted it out to me.
What are you seeing here?
Well, I'm seeing rotation in that cloud, and I'm also seeing, if you look off in the distance, what appears to be a funnel cloud dropping down from that too.
Goodness.
So no reports of any damage from that storm system, but there were hundreds of lightning strikes in a very short period of time.
Wow. All right. Very busy afternoon, and of course, you'll have it all right at the top of 5.
Absolutely.
But please tell us I'll cut out anything you want to come right back to you. You're the man of the hour.
We're watching it.
Thanks,
I'll let
Steve.
you know.
All right. Here now, a look at what's making national and international news. Our Ashley Hansen standing by in the feed room with what's coming in on the satellites at the moment as well. Ashley?
Shannon, rescue workers assisting 3 more migrant boats trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea today. In the meantime, European leaders met to find solutions to the rising number of drowning deaths. Over the weekend, a boat carrying several hundred undocumented migrants overturned. The death toll is still unknown, but the tragedy is believed to be the worst of its kind in recent times. A bomb attack targeting a United Nations van killed 9 in Somalia. 4 of the dead were UNICEF workers. UNICEF says the attack happened as the victims were traveling from their guest house to a UN compound. The Islamic terror group Al-Shabaab claiming responsibility there. And a man who tried to scale the White House fence is now charged with unlawful entry. 54-year-old Jerome Hunt tried to scale the White House fence carrying a package. That package was later deemed harmless, but again, calls into question security around the nation's capital. And runners facing rain are crossing the finish line of the 2015 Boston Marathon. 3,000 officers, uniformed and undercover, are making sure that entire area is secure for the 30,000 runners and then the 1 million spectators. Police are using bomb-sniffing dogs as well to ensure that entire area is safe. And the number of women diagnosed with breast cancer continues to skyrocket. According to the National Cancer Institute, it's only going to get worse. It's the most common form of cancer in the U.S., with 283,000 diagnosed cases just in 2011. Researchers say that number is predicted to rise to 441,000 by 2030. They say currently 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. And Shannon, that is your News in 90.
Ashley, thanks. As a mom, we certainly know this firsthand. Children frequently have trouble swallowing pills, but a new study is revealing there are ways to make that a little bit easier. What a process it is, right? Researchers have found that the best interventions include behavioral therapy, simple verbal instruction. Okay, I've tried that, didn't work. But anyway, head posture training, using flavored throat spray, and specialized pill cups that might help as well. Teaching kids how to swallow pills as young as the age of 2 was also apparently very effective. Okay, very busy weather day. I want to hand it back over to Steve Weagle once again. Steve.
Yeah, severe thunderstorm watch continues, Shannon, until 7 o'clock tonight. We still have torrential rains and hundreds of lightning strikes on the radar, especially from Palm Beach Gardens down into Delray. Reports of a funnel cloud just a few minutes ago. No reports of any kind of damage with that, but an indication that there is the potential for tornadoes and funnel clouds to develop right into early evening. Rainfall rates 2 to 4 inches per hour from Lake Clark shores back down into Lantana. Our strongest storms are in Palm Beach County right now, but we have additional rainfall moving from Jupiter into Cuesta up in toward the Stewart and Hobe Sound area. We also have some storms that are also marching across the Treasure Coast around Vero and Fort Pierce. So a weather alert day continues, Shannon, until 7 o'clock tonight, and of course, more coming up at 5.
Wow, a lot has moved through in this last hour. We've kept up with it step by step. Thanks to you, Steve. Appreciate it. See you at 5. Meanwhile, an experienced skydiver attempts to perform a maneuver, but his landing is less than perfect. Our friends at Right This Minute have more.
What's up the now? I'm Beth Troutman. And I'm Ollie Pettigrew with a video that's really going to make an impact with you. We're riding with David Abair and everything is going according to plan. His parachute is open, his lines aren't twisted. He is about to do some swooping.
Swooping's a cool thing to catch on camera.
It is also very, very dangerous, as we're about to see. As he comes closer to his landing zone, he pulls a hard left, he starts spiraling down, but he's a little bit too low and... a huge impact. He flies through the air, eventually landing in the water. He's moving, he's talking, but very quickly realizes I broke my leg. His leg has broken, his femur. Of course, we were worried about him. We actually spoke to David from hospital.
I feel lucky to be alive. I've seen a lot of people in this sport have similar impacts and not make it, or fare much worse than I did.
Amazing and incredibly lucky that he survived this incident. We hope he gets well soon. I'm sure he'll be back in the skies before he knows it. For all the latest videos, you can catch us on Right This Minute.
Catch the full episode, in fact, and Right This Minute, 7:30 tonight. It's right after the list. A wild scene that we want to show you here. A fish tank exploded inside of a California restaurant. Take a look at this. The surveillance video from inside the Loft Wine Bar. Out of nowhere, the saltwater aquarium just exploded, sending customers running. The owner says more than 100 gallons of water came rushing out, as did 7 fish from inside. Sadly, 4 of those fish died. No, excuse me. 3 died. 4 survived.
Wow, I guess they were able to scoop them up real
I
quickly
know.
and throw them in
They
a
had to move
pot of water.
fast. Sorry to get the fish count wrong on that.
Exactly.
Here in the newsroom with
Yes.
Kelly Dunn, looking forward to News Channel 505.
That's
Lot going
right.
on.
And among many, of course, we'll keep you updated on the weather. I mean,
Yes.
it's crazy out there. So
I know.
Steve's been doing a great job, like you said, in the last hour. You know, it's the peak car buying season, apparently. And if you're looking for a certified used car, I don't know about you, but I've always thought, oh, good, it's certified. So that must mean it's as good as new.
And it's not.
And it's not, I mean, it can certainly be a great, great thing to buy a certified pre-owned. But we have John Matarese coming up, going to go through and kind of figure out, you may not get as much protection as you think you are. So how to know, you know, if it's really what if you're getting that kind of, the kind of car that you think you're getting just because it's labeled certified pre-owned.
He always digs deep on stuff
Good
like
consumer
that.
stuff
Really
coming
is.
up.
See you
Yes.
then.
All
Thanks,
right,
Kelly.
thanks.
Do you know that Earth Day is this coming Wednesday? We've been talking about it here on the Now, what we might be able to do to celebrate. Well, a lot of big companies are participating by offering some discounts and in-store craft events, too. Our Yetta Gibson is in for Terrio today, and she has a breakdown of all kinds of fun Earth Day steals and freebies. Take a look.
In today's Simple Steals, we are showing you fun ways to celebrate Earth Day this week with some exciting and fun steals. Plus, we found a Mickey Mouse mug that will keep your coffee warm all day long. Also, free Krispy Kreme donuts. Yes, please. Welcome, Simple Steals fans. I'm Yetta Gibson. So Earth Day is this Wednesday, and so many big companies are participating with super sales and in-store events to make it a memorable one. According to DealPlus.com, companies like 6pm.com and Amazon, Nike, Walmart, they're all going to be offering special Earth Day discounts. And get this, if you walk into your local Disney store with 5 plastic bags, they're going to give you a free reusable tote bag. Other stores like Anthropologie and Pottery Barn, they're going to be offering Earth Day craft events just for your kiddos. Just visit the link on our Facebook page to take advantage of all of these amazing finds. Next, speaking of Disney, take a look at this super fun Mickey Mouse coffee mug. But look real close. It comes with a warming plate on the bottom there. How cool is that? And the best part, it's only $9.99 at Walmart. Finally, get your calendars out because on April 28th, Krispy Kreme Donuts is celebrating their Superhero Day. If you buy a dozen of glazed donuts, they're going to give you a second dozen free. This deal is perfect for maybe an office meeting, family party, or, of course, you can just keep them for yourself. To get all the details on these awesome steals, just visit our Facebook page by going to simplesteals.com. I'm Yetta Gibson, and those are your Simple Steals today.
Those were great today, Yetta. Thanks for all the details. You can also go to WPTV.com/the Now, as always, to check in on those steals and deals. The crowds, they were crazy yesterday as hundreds of people went to Target looking for a Palm Beach classic. Unfortunately, if you were there, you probably left disappointed. It seems within seconds, Target's new Lilly Pulitzer line was sold out. The Now's Holly Davis has an update if you were out of luck for good.
Shannon, we know this happened yesterday when the Lilly Pulitzer collection debuted at Target, but women everywhere are still talking about this today. And if you look on Target's website, here, for instance, are the dresses. If you click on each one, all you'll see is sold out, no longer in stock. And hate to break it to you, Target says it doesn't anticipate another go at this iconic collection. So basically, it's just not restocking. To see how crazy this was, check this out. This is video that a viewer sent us from Jensen Beach of the crowds at the Target right there. Kind of looks like Black Friday, huh? Lilly Pulitzer, of course, a staple of Palm Beach. Her stuff pretty pricey, which is why Target's exclusive collection, 250 items, by the way, was such a huge deal. Totes, again, dresses, shirts, pillows, all of it gone. Some of it, though, is cropping up on eBay. But again, Shannon, you can bet it's not cheap.
People are cashing in on that. Holly, thanks. This next story, important to anybody who uses this. Google, that's everybody, right? The Now's digital producer here with how the company's changing its search results.
This is kind of a big deal. It's actually being called like Searchageddon or Searchmageddon or something. It has a kooky name for it.
It's shutting down the internet.
It's shutting down the internet more than Kim Kardashian did. So Google announced on their blog that mobile friendliness will have an expanded role in ranking search results.
Mobile friendliness.
Mobile friendliness.
Okay.
So that's really great for sites that have been deemed mobile friendly, but for sites with text and formatting issues that are not mobile friendly, they should expect to see a decline in search ranking and web traffic overall. Now, some say the change could crush millions of small businesses with sites that do not fit Google's new algorithm. research company Somo found a few big brands aren't ready for the change either, like Versace, Nintendo, and the official website for the European Union could lose rank. The change has been dubbed Mobilegeddon and was announced by Google back in February. Now, starting tomorrow, mobile users who now make up 60% of web traffic, they'll be presented with search results that are optimized for their device. And of course, WPTV is a mobile-friendly website, Shannon.
Okay, and so let me just make sure, because I was kind of busy listening to our producer and a lot's going on. So if I'm searching on a mobile device, I'm going to have a more difficult time or not as complete search results than I would.
You are going to have an easier time. So what Google is doing is they're scouring the internet to look at websites that when you look at it on your phone, that it actually displays the way that it should, and it's more customer friendly.
Perfect. Thanks for the nutshell, since I missed your whole segment. See you tomorrow, Rachel. Thanks. Big changes coming to Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. The kid favorite meal will soon be going au natural. For years, Kraft made the bright yellow pasta with artificial preservatives and synthetic colors. Yum, yum, right? Now it will be made with fresh spices, they say. Kraft promising that its mac and cheese will taste the same as before, though. So don't fret, kids. All Kraft mac and cheese boxes will be synthetic-free starting January 2016. Step in the right direction. That'll do it for the Now South Florida. News Channel 5 at 5 begins right now.
A scary sound and moment marking the beginning of a wild weather afternoon. It's a weather alert day right here on News Channel 5.
We are under a severe thunderstorm watch. Heavy rain, gusty winds, thunder, excessive lightning.
It's going to make things tough getting home, and that rush hour is beginning right now. Let's begin with Steve Weagle with a look at where the rain is and what's expected later tonight, Steve.
Yeah, the hardest hit areas at this point, Kelly and Michael, would be in Palm Beach County along the coastline. Here's the severe threats today and the strong thunderstorm threats as we get into the early evening through about 6 and 7 o'clock. Numerous lightning strikes. In fact, at one point this afternoon, hundreds of lightning strikes along coastal Palm Beach County. There is a low risk for tornadoes. Reports of funnel clouds during the afternoon. A report coming in just about a half an hour ago. That was in Boynton Beach near Gateway and Congress. All storms are moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. No reports of any kind of damage with that. It doesn't appear like it touched the ground. Winds today, 45, upwards of 50 miles an hour. Just a few minutes ago, a wind report of 40 miles an hour in Juno Beach from that line of storms. So the severe thunderstorm watch continues until 7 o'clock tonight. Torrential downpours, reports of street flooding around Forest Hill Boulevard and I-95. So try to avoid that area if you can through the next hour to hour and a half. Here's some amazing video that came in. I believe this is a storm cell that moved through Boynton. This is at least part of the line of storms that pushed through about a half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. This was sent in by Michelle to me, and you can see that rotation in the cloud as it moves through. And potentially, this may be the funnel cloud right there that was also reported in that area. It's very faint, not the best video to view that, but amazing video nonetheless. And if you get any video or pictures, just post them on my Facebook page or send them in to our U-Report section. Here's the radar at this point. It's still busy, but the strongest storms are starting to move off the coastline. We have torrential rain continuing across South County, Lantana, through about Boynton Beach Boulevard, in down through Boynton, obviously, and Delray along Atlantic Avenue, and rainfall rates of 3 to 4 inches per hour. So this is going to be tough to drain, and we're going to see more street flooding through the early evening, especially the South County area because of training storms one after another. Here's a look a little farther north into Stewart, Palm City, Port Salerno, all the way up in toward Rio and Sailfish Point, and all the way down into Hobe Sound. A quick line of storms here, a couple of lightning strikes. It'll be off the coast soon. Palm Beach County, the hardest hit area this afternoon. Earlier storms through the Treasure Coast have tapered off, and rainfall in this area through about 6 and 7 o'clock tonight. Another round headed our way tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming up.
Steve, thanks. The rain coming down hard for 3 hours now, as Steve has just outlined. And News Channel 5's Brian Etten covering the stormy conditions. He joins us now. Brian.
Yeah, we are on Forest Hill near 95. Let me give you an idea of what we're seeing out here. It has really improved over the last few minutes. It was pouring down rain. Look at that flooding right there. Pouring down rain here maybe 3 or 4 minutes ago. Now the sun is starting to peek through like we know it does in Florida. Still some flooding on the roads out here. We were just in West Palm Beach along Flagler near the El Cid neighborhood near Flamingo Park. And we saw a lot of localized flooding there, especially in the neighborhoods over there. We're getting on 95 right now, headed north at Forest Hill. Let's just take a look real quick.
Brian Enton reporting there, out live and out in this kind of weather. That kind of thing's going to happen. The stormy weather can play havoc with everything, but he gave you a nice live bird's eye view, and we'll continue to have crews out live looking at the weather. And of course, a reminder for all of you, if you're waiting for somebody to come home, be a little extra patient. If you're about to get on the road, be extra safe. No better way, of course, to get severe weather alerts for your exact location and keep your family safe. Think of Storm Shield as a weather radio that's with you wherever you go on your Android or iPhone. You can download it from our website, WPTV.com.
More problems for standardized tests in schools. They came to a halt across the state this morning because of a technical slip-up. This comes after another technical problem happened just last month, and the state assured schools the problem was fixed. Jacqueline Powell is live to explain how those setbacks are hurting students. Jacqueline?
I'm outside the Palm Beach County Library where we caught up with one unhappy student who says she has to come here to get her work done when those technical issues keep her from doing her work during school. The company Florida contracts out to administer its Common Core-based Florida Standards Assessment. American Institutes for Research also handles online courses for some students, and they, along with those testing, were locked out of the system today if they hadn't already logged in by the time the glitch came up. As we mentioned, this is the second time a technical problem has put a hold on the testing since it began last month. Palm Beach County Schools says for those students who were supposed to test today but were unable, testing will resume tomorrow. But students say adjusting to changes in schedule isn't as easy as it might sound.
It's a requirement for graduation, so it's been hard because the days that you're supposed to test, you don't really test because of all the glitches and stuff. So that makes everything else harder.
Now, the state says today's glitch happened because American Institutes for Research made a technical change in the system over the weekend that no one was informed of, and that kept students from logging in today. Now, those problems have all been resolved, and students should be able to resume testing tomorrow and log in just fine. Live in West Palm Beach, I'm Jacqueline Powell, WPTV News Channel 5.
From Disneyland in California, where one outbreak began, all the way to our Treasure Coast, the measles virus is spreading. There have now been 2 cases in Indian River County so far, and 1 in St. Lucie County. And it's not just children. Adults are contracting measles too, which is why doctors are asking people of all ages, check your medical records. News Channel 5's Katie Johnson explains.
Michael, doctors say there's a common misconception among adults. You figure those shots you got as a child are still working for you decades later. That's actually not the case. Through a simple blood test, many adults are now learning they're no longer immune to measles because their vaccine isn't up to date. Doctors say they only last about 10 to 15 years. One woman I spoke to today said she found out she wasn't covered by her vaccine anymore during her pregnancy. Doctors say the symptoms of the virus are much worse in adults than in children.
The problem with adults is they actually get sicker, particularly ones that may be a little bit malnourished. They get, the death rate is tenfold in adults compared to children.
The symptoms include fever, cough, and a rash, and doctors say it takes at least a week to 10 days to recover. If you're not sure if your vaccine is up to date, check with your doctor. I'm told the vaccines are easy to get from your physician. Live in the studio, Katie Johnson, WPTV News Channel 5.
I'm Jay Cashmere, live in the feed room where we are monitoring the very latest from what's being called the biggest single loss of life in the recent history of the Mediterranean. The search continued today for bodies of those on board a migrant ship that capsized the weekend, thought to have been carrying as many as 950 people. Only about 24 people were rescued alive, and they're not really exactly sure how many drowned at this point. This comes as another ship carrying migrants has been sinking off the coast of Greece. Reporting from the feed room, back to you.
A Boynton Beach family is out of their home tonight after it caught fire overnight. Firefighters still don't know how it started. The homeowner, though, says everything is gone. On top of that, he says his wife had to go to the hospital and a family dog did not make it out. The Red Cross is helping the family. Waiting to get the name of the woman whose body was found on the side of the road in suburban Delray Beach. Detectives are still working on this case. The sheriff's office is investigating it as a homicide. Someone noticed the body yesterday morning along Smith Sunday Road. That's east of State Road 7 and north of Atlantic Avenue. West Palm Beach police are investigating what they say appears to be a drive-by shooting in which 3 juveniles were injured. It happened yesterday evening at Bahama Court in Gramercy Park. Deputies say a bullet grazed one of the children. Broken glass is how the other 2 were hurt. All were taken to the hospital to be treated.
A warning before you light your gas grill the next time. A child in Jupiter had to be rushed to the hospital after being burned this weekend. And we're told there are more than 9,000 grill fires a year nationwide. News Channel 5's Gabrielle Saran looks at how it can happen and the steps you can take to prevent it.
Palm Beach County Fire Rescue says Sunday's gas explosion that injured a small child at the Loxahatchee Country Club was caused by a propane grill.
Breaks my heart. It's just very, very sad.
It was the same cause behind the 2013 fire at Byron Fuchs' West Palm Beach home that left him with second-degree burns on his arms.
Whenever you're dealing with something that's got an explosive atmosphere, like a grill, you could run into a lot of accidents.
Fire safety expert Captain Brent Bloomfield says accidents can often be avoided by making sure the grill is open before turning the gas on.
Because that helps from keeping the gas getting trapped inside the grill. Once the gas gets trapped inside the grill and you light it, you could create an explosive atmosphere.
Captain Bloomfield also says you should only light a grill with an igniter button like this one. If gas is trapped inside from using a lighter or paper, that could be dangerous.
Once that gas builds up, you have to open the grill up and you kind of have to fan it out, or you have to take the grates off and let it kind of move out of the grill before you even attempt to light it again. And that takes up to several minutes.
Bloomfield says to always keep your grill well maintained to avoid any electrical malfunctions. Gabrielle Saran, WPTV News Channel 5.
In addition to making sure the lid is open on the grill, fire crews recommend you keep children away from the grill when lighting it. 15 feet away is considered safe. You should also spray all your hoses and connections with soapy water. If you see the water bubbling, that means you have a gas leak. U.S. Representative Tom Rooney says he'll not be running for the Senate, the United States Senate, for the seat now held by Senator Marco Rubio, who's running for president next year. Rooney, a Republican representing the district that stretches from Okeechobee County to the west coast of our state, says he decided not to run because of the toll it would take on his family. With Senator Rubio running for the White House next year, his Senate seat will be closely contested.
5 people were injured after a Palm Tran bus collided with a vehicle in Lake Worth this morning. About 35 people were on the bus at the time when it crashed near 6th Avenue South and South Dixie Highway. We're still waiting to learn what led up to that crash. A showdown in Tallahassee today between supporters and opponents of All Aboard Florida. At stake, a proposal to approve $1.75 billion in tax-exempt funding for the high-speed rail project. Supporters said the train from Miami to Orlando would prove to be a model for the rest of the country. And opponents, many from the Treasure Coast, said it would not be feasible and leave taxpayers having to pick up the bill. No decision yet on the bonds.
Airport security about to be beefed up. Coming up, what has prompted the latest change?
And the match of Target and Lilly Pulitzer was not a good one for many shoppers.
And what the Philadelphia Eagles are saying tonight about Tim Tebow. The story ahead at 5:30.
And as we've shown you, it is a weather alert day. Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Steve Weigel, monitoring the storms on radar, has an update just minutes away.
It's early morning. You're up because, well, the work never stops.
The weather team is so important to me because I need accurate, reliable information.
WPTV Storm Team 5, only in one neighborhood that matters, yours.
I have to know what and where the weather is happening.
Showcasing the storm from every angle.
I'm watching and waiting on that radar to find out what my afternoon is going to look like.
Storm Team 5, the only morning weather team. Today on 5 on WPTV News Channel 5.
At Best Smith Kia, you get big savings on our huge selection of over 1,000 Kias. Savings as far as the eye can see. They go on and on and on and on.
Right now at Rooms to Go, shop the ultimate store-wide mattress sale, featuring amazing buys on great brands like Sealy, Serta, Beauty Rest, and more, including special closeouts on 2014 Sealy mattress sets. Everyone priced to clear fast to make room for new models. Save up to 40% while supplies last. Plus, save over $1,000 on this incredible Kingsdown mattress set in plush or firm. Only $899. Get great mattresses at great prices right now during the Rooms to Go Ultimate Store-wide Mattress Sale.
Never before has this kind of passion, this kind of innovation, engineering, design, and performance been available for this kind of price. The 2015 CLA from Mercedes-Benz. See your authorized dealer for exceptional offers through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services.
In case of an emergency, I can always use my Lifeline cell phone to call for help.
SafeLink, the free phone program, free cell, free text, and free minutes is your connection to safety. If you qualify for programs such as SNAP or Medicaid, today you are eligible for 500 free minutes for the first 4 months and unlimited free texts.
With SafeLink, my family can feel secure when I am alone.
Call 1-800-SAFELINK or visit safelink.com.
Now available at participating Walmart locations.
And on. Plus, they're backed by our low price or its free guarantee. And free tires and batteries for life. Savings as far as the eye can see. At Beth Smith Kia, saving you the most on the Treasure Coast.
Catch your News Channel 5 updates throughout the day on News Radio WJNO.
Welcome back, everyone. This is a weather alert day for South Florida. Strong thunderstorms moving across the area during the afternoon. Some of that rainfall having a big impact on South County now, where we have a line of storms and just torrential rainfall moving off the coastline. Look at the lightning counter there. 200, almost 250 strikes in the last few minutes. A little farther north, up around Jupiter, from West Palm really up into Jupiter. More hit or miss showers and storms. Also, Stewart, Palm City picking up some torrential downpours. The wider view once again. Things will taper off through about 6:30 and 7 o'clock tonight. Another round headed our way tomorrow. Shouldn't be as strong. We're going to talk more about that coming up.
And that was the start of the Boston Marathon today. It's been 2 years, of course, since the deadly terror attack at the finish line of the marathon, and Boston is still running. 30,000 people competed in the prestigious race today. Tens of thousands gathered to show their support for the runners and the city of Boston. Jay Gray with the details now.
The marathon is a grueling 26.2 miles, runners battling the elements and exhaustion to reach the finish line. A spot that's now sacred ground for Boston. The starting point 2 years ago for a race toward recovery. Forced on this city by an attack that killed 3 and injured more than 260. 25 who returned to the course this morning.
The main goal of this group is to unite all the survivors in their goal to cross the finish line together.
Together is how this community continues to move forward, one step at a time, on a difficult and emotional journey that includes the penalty phase in the trial of convicted marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, which begins here tomorrow. But today is Marathon Monday, Patriots Day. Tens of thousands ignoring the rain and bitter wind to make sure this, and not the attack, is what defines them.
We're Boston strong, and this city's amazing, and I'm just so grateful to be here and be able to stand here today.
Still standing, still racing, but never running away.
Now, the celebration continues here right now. It will well into the evening, but it won't include the 12 jurors or 6 alternates from the bombing trial instructed by the judge to stay away from today's race. In Boston, Jay Gray, WPTV News Channel 5.
2 shootings by law enforcement officers are under scrutiny today. In one case, an Oklahoma sheriff's deputy standing by the decision to allow a reserve deputy to be involved in an investigation which ended with that volunteer killing the suspect. This body cam video from the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office shows the suspect, Eric Harris, running from deputies after an undercover sting went bad earlier this month. The sheriff says Harris ran toward an area where civilian volunteer Robert Bates was standing by as a backup. Bates saw Harris and moved in, shooting him with what he says he thought was his taser, but it was his gun, and that shot killed Harris.
Bob didn't mistake a gun for a taser. He mistaked having a gun in his hand and thought it was the taser. He didn't transition from a gun to a taser.
The sheriff speaking there. Bates is now charged with manslaughter, a decision the sheriff says he agrees with after initially recommending that no charges be filed. now to Baltimore. Protests today and calls for an investigation into the death of a man in custody. 25-year-old Freddie Gray died at a hospital a week after he suffered a broken vertebra. Gray was arrested last week following a police chase, and police say he was conscious and speaking when he was placed in a prisoner transfer van. The deputy police commissioner says an investigation is underway to determine whether officers might be criminally responsible here.
A warning today about a connection between one state and ISIS terrorists. It's happening in Minnesota, and the link is being emphasized by the U.S. Attorney for Minnesota. This comes after 6 men from Minnesota were arrested for trying to fly to Syria to fight with ISIS.
To be clear, we have a terror recruiting problem in Minnesota. And this case demonstrates how difficult it is to put an end to recruiting here.
Airport screening is about to get tougher. The Homeland Security Secretary announced new security rules for U.S. airlines and airport workers. The changes are in response to a December incident at Atlanta Hartsfield International Airport, where a baggage handler was accused of smuggling guns on commercial flights to New York. Some of the changes include recurring criminal background checks for airline employees and aviation workers. They'll also have to go through TSA screening before boarding a plane, and access points to secure areas will be reduced. To a health alert now, as doctors warn to expect a rise in the number of breast cancer cases. They say as baby boomers age over the next several decades, millions of women who were born between 1946 and 1964 will face an increased risk for breast cancer because of their age. Researchers at the National Cancer Institute predict cases will increase by much as 50% by the year 2030. One piece of good news, though, the rates of hard-to-treat triple R negative cancer are going down. For those who have had to coax and beg and bribe to get their children to swallow their pills, some suggestions now on how to make those pills go down easier. Researchers found the best interventions included simple verbal instructions, head posture, training, using a flavored throat spray, and specialized pill cups. They also say teaching kids how to swallow pills as young as 2 was effective as well. The Lilly Pulitzer merchandise line at Target will not be restocked after it sold out in a matter of hours. A long-awaited match between the two companies did not go so well for many shoppers. We have the scene from yesterday in Jensen Beach. It looked like Black Friday shopping. And if you didn't get your hands on anything over the weekend, well, you'll either have to pay big prices on auction sites or do without.
This is a weather alert day for South Florida. Strong and potentially severe thunderstorms moving across the area during the day. A severe thunderstorm watch continues until 7 o'clock tonight. A look at the Live 5 camera. It is a soggy commute home. Everything beginning to taper off slowly through the evening hours, but we still have the threat for severe weather through about 7 o'clock tonight. Hundreds and hundreds of lightning strikes. We've had reports of funnel clouds, wind gusts to 40 and 45 miles an hour. Hail was reported earlier today in Jensen Beach, and flooding was also reported in a few spots. Localized street flooding around Forest Hill and I-95, and additional streets are possible to see some patchy street flooding through about the early evening, 7 and 8 o'clock tonight. Severe thunderstorm watch until 7 o'clock. Torrential rainfall, gusty winds, and small hail possible in these storm cells. The wide view with our Power 5 radar network showing 2 areas with very, very heavy rain. The strongest storms are now moving through Boynton, Delray, Highland Beach, and Boca, with obviously hundreds of lightning strikes. The strongest cells are offshore at this point. Everything moving northeast at 30 miles an hour, just racing to the coast. And really, that was one of the threats during the day. It was quiet, and these storms would just almost sneak up on us. They were moving so quickly. They will taper off through the early evening. Rainfall rates have come down a little bit. They were 3 and 4 inches an hour just a little while ago. They're now down to about a half an inch to almost 2 inches around Gulfstream back through Boynton Beach and Delray. A little farther north into West Palm, we still have some rain showing up and a few lightning strikes, so stay inside until these storms pass. If you encounter any severe weather, you want to get on the lowest level of your house in a safe interior room. And with the slight threat of funnel clouds during the day, that's something that you should keep in mind. And tomorrow, we also have the potential for some strong, maybe even some severe weather once again. Here's a look at the Treasure Coast coast where earlier storms have tapered off. That heavy rain that we saw in Stewart about 5 and 10 minutes ago has moved off the coast very, very quickly because these storms are moving so quickly. And additional rain is possible into the evening, but obviously a big improvement through about 8 and 9 and 10 o'clock tonight. 1 a.m., quiet. Tomorrow, bubbling up quickly, a morning shower on the forecast maps. The afternoon, bright reds begin to pop up once again, and the best bet is a little farther south tomorrow. Most of the rainfall or the high rain chances will be from the Palm Beaches down into Miami, but we could also see some rain on the Treasure Coast. Shouldn't be quite as widespread, though. Boating conditions tomorrow, obviously, we have the showers and storms moving in. Seas 1 to 2 and a light chop for the inland waters. So tonight's forecast, 74, thunderstorms ending around 7 and 8 o'clock tonight, partial clearing after that. That means a little morning sunshine, but more showers and storms. Bring the umbrella. Drive safe everywhere. It is going to be another soggy afternoon. 7-day forecasts have thrown in more thunderstorms for most of this week. Temperatures, they do bump down a little bit, but they rebound quickly. Look at that 90s again by Saturday and Sunday. More at 5:30.
Steve, thank you. 10 feet down and trapped for 7 hours. Coming up, what firefighters had to do in this rescue operation.
And the deputy arrested for DUI following a weekend Jimmy Buffett concert. The admission he reportedly made to troopers ahead at 5:30.
Closed captioning on WPTV is sponsored by Bethesda Health.
Announcing Edmore's Delray Toyota's ultimate buyback event. Your trade is in high demand, so we're paying top dollar. Lease a new 2015 Camry LE for only $89 a month, or buy a Camry for $13,988. Visit DelrayToyota.com.
Just steps away from the water, relax and enjoy the atmosphere and amazing food with locations across South Florida. Mulligan's Beach House Bar and Grill. Fun and food for the entire family.
Yeah, I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. I tried so hard. I can't ride the bubby. I don't know what it is about that little gal's loving, but I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
We'll make you smile with our BMW X3 giveaway, April 25th. One free entry daily. Bonus entries April 21st. Play more. Be happy. That's how we roll at Isle Casino Pompano Park.
Come on.
In commodities, rawhide bones are up, while pig ears traded even for the day. Celebrating Bastille Days.
Lease a new Forester for $169 a month at Schumacher Subaru.
Schumacher Subaru. Come join the family.
Good call on these chicken cordon bleu subs. I know, right? Mixing it up. We should totally do this for the rest of the things in our lives. Live spontaneously. Ooh. Wear cowboy hats. I'm gonna let my hair grow. Become meteorologists. I mean, let's do this. Yes! Hang on, I got a 1:30. So after that? Yeah. Oh, I gotta pick up the kids. Maybe we just get these subs again tomorrow. Oh, now you're talking. Take cover, America.
Our Publix Deli Chicken Cordon Bleu Sub is served hot and bursting with unique flavors. And with online easy ordering, you can try something totally different and totally delicious. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
It's the huge BrandsMart USA Best of Spring Sale. Buy this GE air conditioner for a cool $99.88. Take home this Whirlpool stacked washer and dryer combo for just $799.88. Get this blue unlocked smartphone, your choice of color, for only $39.88. Or how about this Quasar 55-inch 4K Ultra HD TV for the low price of $499.88. It's the huge BrandsMart USA Best of Spring Sale.
Announcing Edmore's Delray Toyota's ultimate buyback event. Your trade is in high demand, so we're paying top dollar. Sign and drive a new 2015 RAV4. Lease for $239 a month, 0 down. Or buy for $21,488.
It's Edmore's.
Visit DelrayToyota.com.
School places always do. In Silver Spring, Maryland, a 9-week-old puppy got stuck in a pipe. Firefighters took 7 hours to free the puppy. They had to bring in heavy equipment, dig around, breach the pipe. It was in a pipe, the puppy 10 to 12 feet deep. The firefighters provided the puppy with food and oxygen during the ordeal. Somebody's going to have a nice new pet.
I'm Jay Cashmere, live in the newsroom. Coming up all new at 5:30. Dozens of drivers all becoming targets of a crime. the one local park they all seem to frequent and the action being taken now.
A town says the rules here in Palm Beach need to change. Coming up, we'll tell you how a notice from code enforcement has stirred up conversation regarding a playground.
And do you feel better knowing a used car is certified pre-owned? We have an eye-opening look at what that title really means. And as we've been saying all afternoon, it is a Storm Team 5 weather alert day. Steve will have the very latest on all the storms in the area when Shannon Cake and I see you in just a few minutes on News Channel 5 at 5:30.
Business Report on WPTV is sponsored by your local Toyota dealers.
At Ben Smith Kia, you get big savings on our huge selection of over 1,000 Kias. Savings as far as the eye can see. They go on and on and on and on.
I may be a pizza maker, but I know a few things about dessert, like chocolate and more chocolate.
Introducing our new double chocolate chip brownie. It's a rich and decadent brownie, served warm for only $6.
Better ingredients, better pizza. PapaJohns.com.
I put all this time in serving my country, something that I am so proud of myself. And to come home and know that you're not going to be assisted, that's what really irks you, if you would. I was near homelessness. If it wasn't for Gordon and Donner, I don't know what the future would be. All the veterans out there, they need to know that you can be compensated for this. And the best start you get is Gordon and Donner.
Gordon and Donner, for the injured.
My dad had been sick for quite a few years. We just feel like it was divine intervention with Treasure Coast Hospice coming in.
They showed us the love and the patience and the passion that they have. The RN, the CNA, and the social worker played a very important part of our